At the same time, Harris showed that she could run an impressive campaign, even the short time she was in the race, according to those pining for another run. These idiots really are claiming that Harris ran a good campaign. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, your real American, back in with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a great day myself, and before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. Let's get into it, because it appears that the Democrat Party has not learned their lesson. Yeah, that's right. Despite the fact that they got absolutely crushed not even a month ago, it appears that the Democrat Party, they're doubling down on their BS. You cannot make this up. Guys, I don't think a single person on earth can say, yeah, the Democrats did very good in 2024. No, they didn't. They got absolutely crushed, especially at the top of the ticket. They got walloped everywhere. It was so bad that Trump won the popular vote by 2. He won every single swing state. Hell, states like New Jersey, New Mexico, Minnesota, they all had big shifts to the right. Despite that, however, it looks like the Democrat Party, they've learned nothing. They have learned not a damn thing about what happened in 2024. So let's get into it, because The Hill has a report of the rumored candidates for 2028. And I know it's very early. 1,000 things could change. But if this list is anywhere close to accurate as to people the Democrat Party want to run, who's likely to run, they are screwed going into 2028. And I know it's very early to say that, but the list they have of possible candidates is absolutely horrific. So let's get into it. And the very first person, I cannot believe that this is a thing, is Kamala Harris. Yeah. Kamala Harris, who lost a popular vote, who spent $2 billion in like 2 months, by the way, trying to beat the Orange Man. Yeah, it appears that Kamala Harris might be the favorite going into 2028. I'm sorry. What? How the hell does anyone think, yeah, Kamala Harris was actually a very strong candidate? And for those that are saying I'm exaggerating, look at this. In many ways, this was still Joe Biden's race. Even though she was the nominee in the end, she still had a number of constraints, including the fact that she couldn't maneuver to distance herself from him when she needed to. One ally to the vice president said, which, okay, you could argue there's some legitimacy here. Like, okay, fine. Joe Biden was very unpopular. I understand that. But to say that she couldn't maneuver herself? No. She literally said, yeah, anything Biden did during his 4 years, I would have done the exact same. So this idea that, oh, she couldn't distance herself. Well, guess what? That's her fault. She literally said, yeah, everything Biden did, I supported. I was in the room for every big decision. Everything he did, I 100% support. At the same time, Harris showed that she could run an impressive campaign, even the short time she was in the race, according to those pining for another run. These idiots really are claiming that Harris ran a good campaign. No, she ran one of the worst campaigns possibly ever. Worse than DeSantis 2024, because at least you could argue, well, that was during the primary and he was going against Trump. Kamala Harris spent $2 billion against Trump. This idea that, well, she was in the race for not enough time, that's why she lost. No, you could argue her not being in the campaign for more than like 4 to 5 months actually helped her. Because the more people learned about Harris, the more they hated her. That's what happened at the very end. A lot of people began to realize, wait a minute, this is the vice president. There's a reason we do not like her. Oh, wait, yeah, she's incompetent. She has no clue what the hell she's doing. And every time she spoke, her unpopularity went up. I just cannot believe that some Democrats believe this crap that, oh, Kamala Harris ran a great campaign. The only reason she lost was because of Joe and the fact that she's a woman. Yeah, you can't make this up. Democrats, they're going back to America's sexist, America's racist. That's why Harris lost. No! People did not vote against Harris because she's a woman. That's bullshit. People voted against her because she's incompetent. She has no clue what the hell she's talking about. And Democrats, they should have learned by now that people don't like being called racist, sexist for saying, hey, Kamala Harris, I just disagree with on issues. I'm going to vote for Trump. Oh, no, you're a racist because of it. I mean, seriously? Do you think that this appeals to any voter? By saying that they're racist or sexist if they vote against Harris? What? But either way, Kamala Harris, the fact that some people actually want her to run again is absolutely hilarious. I would argue if she ran her campaign for a full year, she would have done even worse. Like I said, the more people learned about her, the more they disliked her. The same thing happened in 2020. Did everyone forget about that? Her campaign was around for like a year, but the same thing happened. She spoke more and more, and people were like, oh, hell no. We're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders or Pete Buttigieg. That's what happened back then. The same thing would occur. But fine, okay, Kamala Harris is one bad pick. Well, let's look at some other top contenders. Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Gavin Newsom. Some Democrats want to run. Why? What appeal does Gavin Newsom have to voters in Wisconsin? What? Gavin Newsom is known for being the governor of California. Is that a good thing in the year 2024? Anytime anyone talks about California, they shit on the state. They say it's a shithole, it's a dump, which it is, by the way, and most of that is because Gavin Newsom is a shit governor. But Democrats, they really believe, oh, Newsom could be our DeSantis, which, by the way, the fact that you're saying he's your DeSantis, I don't think that's a good thing either, the claim stuff like that. But either way, Gavin Newsom would do horrific. Now, you could argue maybe he does slightly better in places like California. Maybe he comes off as more moderate than, say, Harris did. I guess that's a possibility, maybe. But even that's like, do you really think Gavin Newsom would do good in places like Wisconsin? In places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona? I highly doubt it, especially in states like the Sun Belt. A lot of people moving to the Sun Belt, they're from California. They're fleeing these states. So why the hell will they vote for Gavin Newsom, the same scumbag that ruined their state? Why? So that's why I'm saying Gavin Newsom is a shitty pick. Gretchen Whitmer, she has a ton of issues that, for whatever reason, the GOP has not targeted her on for years now. Now, the only positive Whitmer for Dems is she's from Michigan. She's from Michigan. That's about it. She has a bunch of negatives. Now, she may be able to win Michigan. Maybe, we'll see. But outside of that, do you think she has much appeal in Wisconsin or Pennsylvania? I mean, and plus she's went against shit Republicans every single year. So is she really that strong of a candidate when she's gone against people like Tudor Dixon? Kind of hard to tell. Maybe she is. Maybe she is an electoral juggernaut, but makes you really wonder. Did she win because of circumstance? Did she win because of popularity? What? Now, of all the people on this list, the only one that makes any kind of sense is Josh Shapiro. Josh Shapiro, by far, is the best pick Dems could make, but they're not going to make him. They're not going to pick him for the nomination for a bunch of reasons. But even then, there are some big questions surrounding Shapiro's strength. Like, okay, was 2022 just a fluke? Was that because he was going against Doug Mastriano and a bunch of Republicans? They just didn't vote. Is that what happened? Or is Shapiro really this electoral juggernaut that can win independents back? Even then, gubernatorial elections are not the same thing as presidential years. And even then, if they pick Shapiro, you know damn well a bunch of progressive voters, they're going to say, hell no to him. We're not going to vote for Shapiro. We're going to vote Jill Stein or whoever the Green Party nominee is in 2028. That's what's going to happen if they pick Shapiro. So the only good pick they have, I don't think can even get the nomination. And even then, he would just piss off the progressive wing of the Democrat Party. So it's like, yeah, you do better with moderates, but a bunch of progressive voters in, say, Madison, Wisconsin, they may say, F you, we're not going to vote. Pete Buttigieg, why is he on this list? Why the hell did anyone think that Pete Buttigieg would be a good pick? When people think of Pete Buttigieg, they think, oh my gosh, he was the transportation secretary? This asshole was in charge of the roads? Yeah, no, we're not going to vote for him. But Democrats really believe that he could be the future of the party. Yeah, that's what they said here. Since he ran for president in 2020, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has been someone Democrats have said could be the future of the party. If he's the future of their party, they would get walloped. Pete Buttigieg, no one likes anymore. 10 years ago, or I should say 5 years ago, when less people knew about him, they're like, he seems fine, not the end of the world. But ever since like 2020, everyone began to look more to Pete Buttigieg, and they realized, wait, he was a transportation secretary. He was incompetent. He's garbage on the issues. Why the hell would anyone vote for that to be the next president? J.B. Pritzker, another awful pick. What are Dems doing? J.B. Pritzker? J.B. Pritzker would be a complete and utter disaster. Pritzker, he is known for being the governor of Illinois. He underperformed against Bailey, for crying out loud. I mean, how is that even possible? So you're going to run the governor of Illinois, a state that everyone in the Midwest makes fun of every single day, and you're going to run him and expect him to do good in places like Wisconsin? He probably underperforms in Illinois. What do you think happens in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania? I mean, these picks are just awful. And finally, AOC. Yeah, it really seems like AOC is going to run for president in 2028. Now, is this a guarantee? I don't know yet. But it sure seems like she is poising herself to be the nominee in 2028. She's trying to be the new Bernie Sanders of the party. Because let's face it, Bernie Sanders is like 85 years old. He's not going to run again. Though, there is some speculation going around that he may form a third party. We'll see. But AOC may actually run as the Bernie Sanders candidate in 2028, because let's face it, I highly doubt that Pritzker, Pete Buttigieg, Harris, I don't think any of them are really the Bernie Sanders of 2028, right? It really does not scream Bernie Sanders to say, oh yeah, Gavin Newsom or Pete Buttigieg. AOC, it really seems like she might be the Bernie Sanders pick of 2028. Now, does that mean she's going to win the nomination? Of course not. I don't think she has any pathway to win the nomination. But the fact that she may actually have a chance because of how bad the Democrat Party has gotten is hilarious. If she somehow got the nomination, she would lose places like Virginia. She would lose places like New Jersey. Places like New Mexico. I mean, she may do better in places like maybe her own congressional district in New York, and that's about it. That might be the only part in the country that she does slightly better in, you know, those hyper-progressive areas, and that's about it. But even then, it's like, wait, if that's not enough to win the election, she would get killed in every swing state. Even some Democrat-leaning states like Virginia, like New Jersey, she probably gets killed everywhere in these states. I mean, you're talking about a complete landslide in favor of Vance, or whoever the Republican nominee is in 2028. But the fact that AOC could be listed as a serious candidate is pathetic on the Democrats' part. I mean, AOC should not have any chance at winning. But the fact is, look at these options. I mean, these options are just so bad that AOC could theoretically get in just because of circumstance. Because these other options, who the hell likes Pete Buttigieg or J.B. Pritzker? Who the hell actually likes Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom? No one. And I know it is a Democrat party, they may love people like them, but makes you really wonder, like, wait, could AOC, of all people, somehow sneak her way into the nomination? It's very unlikely, of course, but there's a chance. I mean, this list is so pathetic that I would not be surprised if they really think, if we pick AOC, this will be the time we win in a landslide. Even though it would be a landslide, just not in favor of AOC. It would be Vance winning like 350 electoral votes or whatever. But either way, the fact this seems like the short list for 2028 is hilarious. I mean, Kamala Harris, Newsom, Whitmer, Shapiro, Pete Buttigieg, Pritzker, and AOC. These picks are awful. I can't think of a single good one outside of Shapiro, who I don't think has any chance anyways at the nomination. But either way, Democrats, they have not learned a damn thing. They have not learned a damn thing. If these are their main picks for 28, this tells the world that they're tripling down on their same bullshit. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below. Subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell. Follow the social media accounts in the description down below. And of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.